Man. Oh, man. Guys, this is so possible. This is so possible. It's so possible. I was laying in bed listening to Interstellar playlist. Phenomenal playlist. So inspiring. So high frequency. Just imagining what I want life to be like. Imagining God's plan for me. And in a state of abundance. This is so possible. This is so beyond possible. 5th winning day is secured. My biggest payout ever secured. My first time scaling up 3 accounts. Copy traded. Secured. And guys, this YouTube channel is undeniable proof how possible it is for yourself. I struggled for 2 years to get my first payout of futures trading. Everything is documented on this channel. Road to my first payout, failing and blowing that account, and the process of scaling up, passing those accounts, and now the process of getting my first payout scaled across 3 accounts. The process of scaling after seeing how possible it is for myself on just 1 account, and now this is my biggest payout to date. It's possible. Like I said, last night I was just, before going to bed, I was laying there in my bed playing that soundtrack, just imagining. Sorry, that's my daily alarm to lock myself out of my accounts at 11 a.m. New York time. But it's so important to be in a state of abundance and have an abundant mindset and know that your dreams and your goals, they are so possible. There is nobody stopping you from achieving your goals except for yourself. And the only way you can stop yourself is if you give up and quit. If you don't give up, you will make it work eventually. And it may not happen on your timeline that you have originally set out, right? Originally for me, I planned to be profitable 2-3 years ago. I originally started with options trading, and I got dragged around for a year with that, and I finally discovered futures, and I've been trading futures for over 2 years, and I'm now finding success with it. But for so long, I held myself back because I was trying to force profitability, and I wasn't in a state of abundance. I was in a state of I was in a constant state of fear. What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? That was my mindset. And since February, since the Road to Payout series, my mindset shifted. I hit rock bottom, and my mindset shifted to, what if it does work? What if it does work? What if I do make it work after all of this hardship? I don't even know where I'm going. That's the longest intro ever. But we secured the 5th winning day, guys. This was a textbook trade as well, so we're going to get into the trade. As you can see, only $150. Not the best executions. In my mind, though, it was really smart to do everything within my power to secure the 5th winning day, to secure the payout, and actually withdraw money to my bank account, because I've preached this, like, until you withdraw this number to your bank, this is fake money until that happens. Um, and I knew I was in a position to secure that. And so, and honestly, I may or may not have gotten break even. I don't know. I usually we'll go over the trade. Um, but we'll go over the trade. I actually recorded the live execution as well. I will throw it in there to show you exactly how I went about securing the last winning day. But as always, man, coming into the market, the my daily bias coming into the market, this is what we looked like. Started to sell off pre-market. We had kind of taken the 4-hour high to the left. I know we have all-time highs. We're within a high time frame buy model. If we just come back to the charts here and zoom out, we're within this high time frame buy model. Obvious high time frame bullish bias. But look, it made sense to get a pullback. We had yet to have a retracement as after this move based off of the peace talk news. And so this is what I put into the Discord this morning in terms of my daily bias. We still have all-time highs to target within the high time frame buy model, but would like to see us rebalance to the nearest 4-hour gap beforehand because we still haven't had a retrace this whole leg up. And so this is kind of what I wanted to see. Take this liquidity, tap the 4-hour, and then continue higher. I didn't know if that was all going to happen this morning or if we were just going to get the rebalance this morning. I didn't know, but we eventually did get the 4-hour rebalance to the 4-hour gap. It made sense. Yes, the high time frames are bullish. Yes, we're within a high time frame model, but there's going to be retraces within the move up. That's just how the market moves, right? Duh, obviously. So that's why I targeted the 4-hour gap. So that was in the A+ draw on liquidity for me this morning. Zooming in, let's just come to the market open. This dash line is market open as always. And we were indecisive here for so long. The first 15-minute candle, second 15-minute candle, third 15-minute candle. The first 45 minutes to an hour, we weren't really doing anything. We did come down and take the liquidity here, and we rejected. However, I'm not taking a long. You can see I had these lines, these dashed lines marked out pre-market. When I have these dashed lines marked out for me, like that's my condition. I'm not going to take a long until we displace past these internal highs. Why is that? It's because we've already rejected multiple times. We rejected this 4-hour high here. We came back up and rejected again. So this kind of turns into a high resistance area. I see that pre-market, which leads me to believe that we're going to get a retrace when the market opens. But if we do get this retrace, we swept this liquidity. Personally, I would need to see us close above this internal high here to then target all-time highs. That's what I have confidence in. Also, we had this 15-minute gap. You definitely can't be taking a long until we run through this bearish 15-minute gap, in my opinion. So with these first 3 15-minute candles, you can see they all have wicks to the upside and the downside. The candle bodies are incredibly small. There's just nothing going on within the market, and so there's no point to even zoom in at this point. However, while we were chopping, I'm telling myself, okay, we rejected and we didn't really go anywhere other than tap into this bearish 15-minute gap. There's still potential to go down and actually tap the 4-hour like I originally thought we were going to do it. We haven't tapped a high time frame gap literally in this whole move yet, and so it makes a lot of sense, right? In order to target this 4-hour gap though, I would need to see us, and you can see I marked out another dashed line below this internal low that was put in that swept liquidity. If I'm going to target lower to the 4-hour gap, I need to see displacement below this low here because we've already swept and rejected. What happens? This 5-minute candle opens. We get a 5-minute displacement candle below the internal low. I'm then convinced that we're going to move lower with that 5-minute candle close because I'm zoomed out on the 5, 15-minute higher time frames. There's no reason to be zoomed into the 1-minute chart here. If you zoom in, it's incredibly easy to get chopped up here. So that 5-minute candle close, as always, confirms the move towards my high time frame draw on liquidity. Once that happens, normally I'm waiting for a pullback for a 1.2 RR to get filled. I got filled here for a 1-to-1 RR limit order with a safe stop loss above this whole 5-minute candle. If my draw on liquidity is correct after this move, we should not come up to my stop loss before delivering towards my draw on liquidity. Now I went for that 1-to-1 RR limit order this time because I knew I just needed one winning day. I wasn't trying to be too picky with the entry. I just wanted to get filled. And the reason I do this is because the 5-minute candle closes down here. And if I were to have my entry point here and my stop loss with a safe stop loss, it's literally negative RR. But a lot of times, especially when you're entering off of these 15-minute candle higher time frame closes, the next candle will open up and give some sort of pullback. So I could have gotten that typical 1.2 that I normally go for, which would have been more ideal in this scenario. Boom. And actually, had I done that, I'm about to go over it in a second. Had I done that, I wouldn't have gotten break even on a typical normal trade. But anyways, that's the entry for me for a 1-to-1. You don't have to be fancy about it, dude. You don't have to get too cute. Draw on liquidity is confirmed. Safe stop loss. I'm content with this risk. Boom, I slap it on. Now, in terms of the risk management, knowing that I had one more winning day, I'm going to insert the live execution right here.
Order filled. Order filled.
So you can see even during the live recording, I was a little bit hesitant. Should I just go for the winning day? Should I let the trade play out? It's a textbook trade. And so once I got into a bit of profit down here, I moved my stop loss to that $150 winning day mark just to secure it. And in my eyes, the whole premise behind that was if we continue lower and just flush lower pretty fast, I'm going to take the full win. If not, then I will just get stopped out for a winning day. And that's what ended up happening. I probably could have gone about it a little bit better or made up my mind about exactly how I wanted to deal with it a little bit better in the moment. I will say I was a little bit more emotional during that trade management. Like I said, because this is my biggest payout ever. My first time getting a payout with scaled accounts, and also really wanting to secure the original return on investment after buying these accounts. I blew a set before this, so I kind of wanted to secure that original initial ROI on the accounts with that 5th winning day. So that's how I went about executing it. Like I said, could have probably executed it a little bit better. But what I wanted to say is a typical normal, like we ended up, a typical normal trade, had I entered with a 1-to-1, would have gotten break even because we actually ended up, you can see, we actually ended up edging the 4-hour gap and then coming back up, and it would have tapped me where I would have been break even for a 1-to-1. At this point in time, like obviously I'm going to be break even if we're a couple ticks away from the draw on liquidity. But so with this 1-to-1, had I not gone for the winning day, I would have gotten, had I let it ride towards the draw on liquidity, would I have maybe gotten tapped with my take profit being 2 points away? Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to say exactly what would have happened. I usually will place it a little bit higher than the draw on liquidity, but it's hard to say whether or not I would have gotten edged or not here. And then at that point in time, obviously I would have been break even, and with going for the winning day, my break even point would have been wherever that $150 mark was. So likely would have gotten break even here regardless, but what I was going to say is typically if I'm placing a limit order, I'm going for that 1.2 RR. So had it not been for the fifth winning day, it would have edged it here potentially, came back up. I would have been break even at this point. My entry would have been right here for a 1.2 RR instead of that 1 to 1. Because usually if you're placing a limit order, if you're gonna get filled for a 1 to 1 RR, the likely odds of the market retracing just a couple more points and getting a little bit better of an RR is completely worth it for me. Um, and you're going to get filled almost 100% of the time compared to that 1 to 1 if you're just going for a slightly better RR 1.2, because the odds of you top ticking this to the exact tick and then like very, very low, odds are you're going to get going to some sort of drawdown, at least for a little bit. That's how I treat my limit orders. So if I had gotten filled for 1.2, what I'm trying to say is even if we edged it, came back up, I still wouldn't have gotten break even on a normal trade. So like I said, going for that fifth winning day, it puts you in a little bit of a dilemma. Obviously, that's how the prop firms want to get you to think, but I'm not going to be too picky about it with myself. I secured a payout. Like, that's what really matters. I'm going to be able to withdraw money to my bank account. Um, and yeah, not going to be too picky about it. Is it something that I can potentially improve on in the future? Yes, but it's also something that I don't have a lot of data on. So that's that's that, bro. Like I said, regardless of how it was managed, this is a textbook trade for me with this 5-minute candle close below the internal low, confirming the move lower after all this chop. It still makes sense to get that further retrace. I then wait for a little bit of a pullback for an RR that I'm content with because I want to have that safe stop loss, and then we deliver to the 4-hour gap. And holy yap, I've been yapping for so long. I don't want to make this video too long, but yeah, man, my biggest payout to date. Um, and every time I get a payout, the first thing that I do is just thank the Lord for providing for me because I went through that struggle and it's the it was by far the hardest part of my life. It might not be as hard as it was for me for a lot of you guys watching this video because I was also dealing with a lot of things outside of the charts and just a lot of stuff in here. I'll just leave it at that. And long story short, it put even more pressure on me to try to succeed. And the more you try to force things, the more you're in that fearful mindset of, is this ever going to work? The harder you're going to make it on yourself. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Um, it's just it still baffles me that I'm in this position after struggling for so long, after feeling like it'll never get better. So many sleepless nights of wondering, so much stress of wondering, is this ever going to work out for me? And the best thing I ever did was document everything on this YouTube channel because literally I now have I have undeniable proof that I am who I say I am and that I'm a profitable, successful trader and nobody can ever take that away from me. It is here documented, everything. I have undeniable proof. And there's no going back from here. Like, yes, there's going to be still failures. Trading is not a straight line up. I talked about this when I blew my first account after getting 4 straight payouts. It's all about higher highs and higher lows. I have now put in that higher high after my first higher low. Higher highs and higher lows, dude. That's the whole goal. It's the whole you're gonna lose. You're going to lose. Losing is a part of trading, but how are you going to handle those losses? I don't even know if I'm making any sense anymore. This recording is already 20 minutes long. Um, so that's all I got, man. that's all I got. I don't really know. All I know is one thing that I do after every single payout that I get is I reward myself. Obviously, the money that's hitting my bank account is a reward in itself, but the one thing I do is I go get some ice cream. Probably sounds really dumb, but I'm pretty healthy. I don't have a lot of cheat meals or anything like that, but every time I get a payout, I go get my favorite ice cream from Sprouts. It's called Ice Cream for Bears. It's probably, other than raw milk ice cream, like it's the best, healthiest ice cream that you can have. It's pretty expensive. It's almost $10 for a pint of ice cream, but it's so worth it, and it gives me something to look forward to. I'm almost more excited for this pint of ice cream that I'm gonna have later tonight than the payout itself. So I think also if you can have some sort of little reward system for yourself that you can look forward to, it's just the cherry on top. But it feels good, man. I thank God that He's blessed me with success recently. Um, and yeah, man, that's all I got. I've said that's all I've got so many times, but truly, I don't know what else to say. Um, yeah, appreciate you watching, man. This is incredibly possible. It's so possible. I don't know what else to say other than it's so possible. Um, and I really genuinely hope that my channel can be a light for you if this is your first time clicking on one of my videos. If you've been watching me for a while and you're still struggling as well, please allow this channel to be a light for yourself, because I'm not anywhere where I want to be, but if you're struggling, I was in your exact same shoes just 4 months ago. Like, this is how quick it can turn around if you don't give up on yourself. So appreciate you watching, man. Biggest payout secured, and I will see y'all tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna be trading tomorrow, um, depending on when this payout hits my bank account. But I will see y'all tomorrow in tomorrow's market recap. Also, one more thing, I forgot to add this in here, but I'm just gonna show all these stats and stuff. Apparently 90% trade win rate. I don't know. I took one losing trade. You can see the full everything here. I want to show the whole calendar. So I believe, yeah, the first winning trade was the end of May, and then I took one loss, and then win, break even, win, win, break even, winning day. So this is the calendar. I just wanted to throw that in there. Um, and yeah, that's truly all I got now. Appreciate you watching, man, and I will see y'all tomorrow. All right, peace.